YouTube watchers. It's so nice to be back again with another video, and thank you so much for all the comments on my last video. I appreciate them so much, and I love that people actually watch my life and what I'm doing. It's a little bit weird. Even though I do it, I watch other people's. So thank you so much for being here. It makes my week. And I keep trying now each weekend to release a video, and it's been a beautiful thing for me to do because it gives me a consistency. When you are self-employed and you do lots of different things, there's not very many things in your life that are actually consistent over and over again. So yeah, it's given me a nice grounded feeling of, oh, it's the weekend, it's time for a video. So in this video, if you can hear a noise, by the way, it's my chair squeaking. In this video, it's a little bit of everything, and I've cut lots of things out because this week has been a bonkers week. I had a friend that came to stay, lovely Jenny, and that was really nice, and we had a really lovely time. We also went and visited another friend's place, where she grows things, which was really lovely. And I also went to football with Tom. Now, I was going to include some of the football in my video. It's a bit weird, isn't it, for me going to football? But Tom is my partner, if you don't know, or Mr. Delightful. You'll have seen him in different videos. And he helps me so much by taking lovely photos of me and sometimes holding the camera for these videos as well. So big thanks to Tom. And Tom has been a lifelong Blackpool football supporter since he was a little boy, and he goes all the time. He's a season ticket holder. So he normally goes with his brothers, and there was a spare ticket, so I went along to see what it was like. I've been before a couple of times, but very sporadically, and this was the last game of the season at home, and it was against Millwall, and it was rather rowdy, let's put it that way, very rowdy. I was glad that I had my earmuffs on to drown out a little bit of the shouting. It was a very good match though. But yeah, I was going to put some clips into the video, and then when I was showing them to Tom, Tom said, you're not allowed to film at football and put it on things like YouTube. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. So there's none of that. But I did go to football this week. It won't be something that I repeat very often because the energy was just crazy. Like, it was just too much for little me. So yeah, we did that, and the blossom at the minute, as you will see in the video, it's just abundant and it's beautiful. And I've been working a lot this week on clients' logos and designs for websites and things like that. So I've got nothing of that to show because it's all a secret right now, but they are really beautiful. So in this video you will see that I talk about foraging and plants which are called weeds, and if you watch my other video you know that I went on a little bit of a rant about weeds. Well, anyway, I just want to put this disclaimer in right now at the beginning, that I am not a trained herbalist, I am not a doctor, I am not any of those things. I am just a lovely hearth witch that has learned and trust my intuition. So the things that I tell you in this following video, if you decide to pick any of the plants that I talk about and you eat them and become very poorly, I will not be held responsible. It's all very heavy, this, isn't it? But you've got to say it these days. And I would suggest that you do your own research. That's what I encourage everybody to do. If I ever say anything about anything, I want you to go off and do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. Go and learn about it yourself. And then you can delve into it as you wish. So that's my disclaimer. If you try anything, just be very careful. Now, there are some little rules about foraging that we're just going to discuss, just in case you've never done it before. So these are like unwritten rules, but every good forager should know them. So don't take loads of stuff that you're not going to use. Don't take loads of stuff in general. Take a little bit here and there out of different places. And if it's something that's scarce, so say like it was you went somewhere and there was only a few dandelions, for example, leave the dandelions for the bees because they really need them. If you go somewhere and it's a field of dandelions and it's really abundant, feel free to take some of those. So never take loads and loads of anything. The other thing is, don't dig up roots or bulbs. So if you go to collect wild garlic, only take leaves and flowers. Don't dig up the bulbs. I think that might be illegal for some species actually, but even if it wasn't illegal, it's still morally wrong because we want the things to grow for next year, don't we? So don't dig up the bulbs either. The other thing is, always take what you will use. Don't take an excessive amount and then just leave it to all die off, because that's like, what's the point of doing that? Only take it if you're going to actually use it. And if you are on medication, like pharmaceutical medication, or if you have something like an illness or something like high blood pressure or low blood pressure or diabetes or things like that, always check first before you take anything, because even though it's natural and it's a plant and everything, it can still interfere with medication and it can still interfere with your things like blood pressure and stuff like that. So just be careful. So I am mad about beetroot, powdered beetroot lattes. I love them. And I also love nettles. Now I've got low blood pressure constantly. I've got low blood pressure all the time, and I very, very rarely go to the doctors, like once every 12 years or something. But the last time that I went, she couldn't even pick up anything on the machine. She did it about 6 times. She had me running around her office to try and get my blood pumping, and she was like, do you meditate and do yoga and stuff? I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, that may be why. So things like beetroot and nettles, they're really good at lowering your blood pressure. So if you've got high blood pressure, things like that are really good. Now I've constantly got low blood pressure. It doesn't affect me in any way. Apart from when I'm coming on my moon time, sometimes I get a weird head. But I know how to manage my I don't even know what you call it, whatever it is. What's the word for it? It's not an illness, it's not a disease, it's not don't know the word, but you might know the word, but you know what I'm on about, I hope. So yeah, just do the things for you. That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm trying to say. Do the things for you, because we're all different and we've all got different bodies. And also, I always like to either leave something, like some bird seed, or plant some seeds, some flower seeds or something, or I take something away, so like collect some litter or things like that. So while you're out foraging, do your bit for nature as well, because it's really nice to give back. That's not a rule, that's just something that I do, and I think it's really nice. We have to make sure that we're treading lightly on the earth and being respectful too. And this isn't a necessity either, but I always like to tune into the plants before I take some of them and ask. You don't have to ask out loud. If you don't want, you can ask in your head, am I alright to pick you? And you can get a clear signal that you are or you're not. And if you're not, move it along. So yeah, I just wanted to put that little thing in here first, if you've not been foraging before, or if you're going to try something new, and if you're going to make things out of things that you forage for your skin or anything like that, make sure you do a little tiny patch test first to make sure you're not allergic to things, and see how you go. And only have things in little doses, so small amounts first. So say like you was going to make some nettle tea, just make yourself 1 cup, see how you go, tune into your body, see how it feels, and then, you know, don't be like, oh my god, I've picked some nettles, it's amazing, I'm going to have 50 cups of tea today. So, you know, just gently ease yourself into it, and the more that you are with the plants, the more that you will learn. And if you want some good book ideas, in a previous video, I think it was the Planted by the Moon video, go and look at that video. I've given you some book ideas in there, which are really helpful as well. Okay, my lovelies, I hope you have a tremendous week ahead. It's my birthday on Friday. I'm going to be 47, which is weird because I thought all this year I was 47, but I'm actually not 47 till Friday. So it's like I've had 2 years of being 47. So yes, it's my birthday on Friday, and I'm hoping to go to the Beatrix Potter Museum and house. So if I do that, you know what'll happen. I'll be doing a video on it. Okay, loves, have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Hello you beauties, do you remember the video that I made 2 weeks ago, yes, 2 weeks ago, about planting by the moon, and I planted my courgette seeds and peas. If you heard a little tip tapping, it's Badger. Oh, where's he gone? There he is. And I just wanted to show you my courgettes. 2 weeks. Look at them. Isn't that crazy? So you see what a difference it makes when you plant them on the right days. Crazy. 2 weeks. They've been on my windowsill in our bedroom. I made like a little cloche with a plastic bag and a stick. So they've been under there. But look, so they're ready for planting out now. The point of it is you create, and that helps you feel and it helps you process emotions. But also you want to be able to be proud of what you've created, or at least like it a bit. And you don't have to like everything. You know, some things that you make, you might be like, oh, that's bloody awful. And that's totally fine too. Ooh, that's a bit vibrant, isn't it? Didn't put as much water on that one. Ooh, very vibrant. I kind of like it. I kind of like how it's blended in actually to the pink. Let's get a bit more pink. Oh yeah, now you're talking. Now you're talking my language. What I really like to do as well is make a playlist to create to. So I've got a few on my computer or iPad, and they really get me in the mood, and they never include words. I never can create to words, because what I find is I end up incorporating them words in what I'm making. Add a little bit more to that. I do love using all different materials, you know, for creating. Family or my parents won't allow me, or whatever it is, and we let that seep into us, and it's not the case. Not the case at all. This beautiful piece that shows us, when we look at it, actually I'm not all those underlying words that are in our heads and minds. I'm not any of them underlying things. I am this beautiful thing on the surface and inside, but you know, I'm just talking about thoughts right now. And we can put this up somewhere and be like, that's what I am. So on the This is plantain. There are several types of plantain. This is broadleaf plantain, and the other one is called flatleaf, which has got a much thinner leaf than this one. You can tell plantain by the seedy bits that are on the top of the plant and the ridges that are underneath the leaves. They are edible. You can eat the leaves and the seeds, and they are really good for anti-inflammatory things. They protect against liver damage. They help with wound healing. The seeds contain fibre, which helps your tummy. At the moment, because it's spring, nettles and cleavers are out in abundance, and spring is all about shifting our sluggish winter energy. Nettles and cleavers are amazing for cleansing the body. They can help with water infections, they support the immune system, good with skin conditions. They're full of vitamins and minerals, and it's a really lovely combination to have in smoothies and drinks. I like to grow a bunch of cleavers in the garden because they're always handy, and you know that dogs haven't weed on them and they've not been sprayed with pesticides. And at the moment they're really good for cleansing your lymph glands, your liver, helping your immune system, relieving swollen glands and things like that. So I'm putting these in the recipe today along with this beautiful lemon thyme, which you've seen featured in quite a few of my videos now. I can't get enough of the stuff, it's really beautiful. I'm actually making pea smash. So I first had pea smash when I went to the Herbarium, which is a plant-based cafe in Lancaster, and it's blooming delicious. I don't know what their recipe is, I'm guessing it's a little secret, but this is my own version of it. So tonight I'm making Buddha bowls, which is something that I really like to do when there's not very much in the house and you've got lots of leftover bits and pieces, and it's just lots of healthy veg and things all in a bowl all together. So for my pea smash I use cloves of garlic. I think I've used 3 here. This is organic garlic. I've got a handful of cleavers and a handful of lemon thyme. If you don't have lemon thyme, you could use basil, or you could use just plain thyme, garden thyme. And in here will go peas and a dash of olive oil and a splash of oat milk. The oat milk's just to lubricate it so the blender actually blends it round. I'm also adding nettle seeds. If I had any fresh nettles I would have added them, but I don't at the minute, so I'm just adding some seeds, and these seeds are really full of iron and they're full of minerals and vitamins to help boost your body at this time of year. So I've just popped a little handful of them in. I dried them out last year and I've kept them over winter, and I use them in all sorts of things. I also like to add some cashew nuts to make it nice and creamy. You could use pine nuts if you wanted, but I find them a little bit greasy. So yep, some cashew nuts go in there for the creaminess too. I'm using some oat milk, but you could use any kind of plant-based milk in this recipe, and if you don't want to use milk you could actually use water, but it wouldn't come out as sweet. I always have a little taste after I've blended it to see if it needs a little bit extra. This time it did. If you can still taste the pea shells, that's not very pleasant, so I put it on to blend for a bit more. I made roast Mediterranean vegetables in pesto in the oven. So that's got peppers, aubergines and onions in it, and it's covered in pesto and it's bloomin' delicious. And I'm serving that with this stew that I made with sweet potatoes, broccoli, green beans, and it's all in a tomato and chilli sauce. And that also is delicious. So I'm just plating up dinner for Tom and I now. You will see me that I serve this with the pea smash, a blob of hummus, and also some grated carrot salad that I make. And this is really easy to do. You just grate some salad, you pop in some sesame seeds, some fennel seeds, a splash of olive oil, and I use a spoon of coconut sugar, but you could use agave or anything like that. And you just put it in a tub, shake it up. Oh, also some ginger. So about a half a thumb size of ginger chopped up into little pieces. And yep, pop it in a tub, shake it up, and then serve it. Oh my goodness, it's so good. And the ginger is nice and sharp, and it contrasts with the rest of the food. Also, I know that plastic tubs are bad for the environment, but we have had these plastic tubs for ages, and I don't see the point in putting them in the bin for them to just go into landfill. So if you ever see me using plastic tubs for foraging or food or anything, that's why we've got them. I often make my own hummus, but this time I couldn't find any tahini that wasn't under £7 a jar, which I thought was quite ridiculous. So I just got some shop bought hummus instead this time. This is the organic one from Sainsbury's, which I really like. It's really tasty. And I'm just sprinkling some spring onions on top, and I will add some tortilla chips, and then we are ready to fill our tummies with love and goodness. I use this natural clay, this has got lavender in it as well, on my armpits and on my face for a nice detox. This is by Nurturing Soul. You can find her on Instagram, and she has her own website and makes soap and other goodies too.